Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Career Conversations with Oyin Hosty. This is a self-help and career development podcast that inspires us to fearlessly pursue our dreams and have successful careers. Each episode, we feature me having authentic conversation with established career professionals. They will share their journey, experience, and practical tips with the purpose of impacting and equipping us to improve our personal and professional lives. Joining me today is Lola Banjo, a woman in tech and career nomad with 15 years of global experience working for different multinationals in 5 countries across Asia, Middle East, Africa, and Europe. Lola currently works for Booking.com, the biggest online travel company in the world. She will share with us a career journey, how she discovers global opportunities so we can leverage on our experience and better position ourselves. Thank you so much, Lola, for coming on board.
Thank you. It's nice to be here.
Now let's get into your career. Can you tell us about your career journey?
Wow, it's a very interesting one. So, when I was in uni, I already started working before I graduated from uni. So I was working at night, and I was working. I was going to school in the day. I was working in an American company based out of the Philippines, and I was doing something in search engine optimization, which is mostly digital marketing. So that sort of exposed me to, the basic foundation of digital marketing. This was like years before a lot of people even got to even know about digital marketing, even globally. But I think I was just fortunate because then as search engine optimization was growing as a field in digital marketing, and the company offered to train me, and I said, look, I'll jump on the opportunity. So that was how I started working before college. And as part of the work I was doing for my undergraduate thesis, I decided to do something in the subject matter of search engines. So that sort of helped me. And when I turned in my dissertation, I knew that the next thing was to find a job, although I still had my job, but I wanted to move full time, because I was working at night. So I wanted to move full time into a day job. But at the same time, I said, look, maybe this is an opportunity for me to leave the Philippines and explore other opportunities abroad. So what I did was, before I graduated, I started already applying for jobs. I started looking out, I started applying, and I remember then all I did was, like search engine analyst, like Lagos, search engine analyst, London, search engine analyst, Hong Kong. Just go to the internet and just type in these keywords and then search online. And somehow I landed on this website, and they said they were looking for a digital marketing analyst in China. And for me, when I see a position and I see that, oh, this position is actually what I do and I can do it, I just apply. I don't think of whether it's in one place, whether it's in another country that I've never been to. If first of all, obviously, I have to evaluate it. Like, is this a country that I want to move to? If it's a country that I want to move to, then I will apply. It's not like, I want to move to Congo and then I see a job in Congo. Obviously, you have to evaluate if you really want to move to that country. So I just saw that job in China and I just applied for the heck of it. And then they called me back, and we went through the interview process through Skype, back and forth. And then they gave me an offer letter, and they told me that, okay, we want you to come to Shanghai. And I was actually shocked because, I think when I applied, so the thing is, when I apply for a lot of these jobs online, I just apply with a very good resume. And I think that's very important to stress. Like, I don't just apply with some crappy resume. You need to put your good foot forward with a well clean, polished resume, because they've not seen you. So it's your resume that will first speak for you. So that was something that helped me. So what I did is, as long as I had a clean resume, I just applied. Then it was China. I didn't even know anybody in China. So I just asked my parents. I was like, look, I got a job opportunity in China. What do you think about it? I don't know anybody there. I don't speak Chinese language. Um, Although the company is a French company and they operate in English, and they were like, "Look, it's up to you if you want to go." And so I said, "Okay, fine, I'll go." And they said, "Fine, we'll support you, whichever way you decide, whatever decision you make, we will support you." So I bought a plane ticket. That was a return ticket, and I said, "Look, I'm gonna go. Um, if the job is good, I will stay. If the job is not good, I have my return ticket." And that was how I went, and that was how I got my job in in China. And then I worked with them for about a year, and I really loved, I'm not saying that it was all rosy, like it was a perfect life, moving to another country. It came with different challenges, but you know what? These are challenges that build you and build your personality and yourself for the future. So I had a very good 1 year with them. I had a good boss, good working experience, and then after a year, me and my partner decided, you know what, we need to move to Dubai. And we wanted to move to Dubai because we wanted to be close to like the UK and Nigeria. I mean, we were far away in the Far East. So we said, okay, let's do it. Let's move. So what I did was I started applying for jobs again. Like, once we make a decision that, okay, this is what we want to do, I just started applying for jobs. Like, go through all the websites, Unilever, Accenture, Deloitte, name it. One thing I know is I always, so I learned this in the second phase of my career, that to start applying for focusing on bigger companies, like big brand names, big multinational. And so I just applied online. And one day I think I was reading a news article, like, you just go on Google and you read a news article, and they say written by Natasha something or somebody that you don't even know. And I said, oh, I really enjoyed the article. So I decided to email the author of the article. And I said, look, this is what I do. I'm really interested in digital marketing and I'm looking to move to Dubai. Do you know if this company could be looking for digital marketers? And the guy was like, oh, nice. Send me your CV. And this was some random person I did not even know. That guy eventually happened to be my boss, you know, 3, 4, 5 years
Wow.
down, because he was working in the company, but he published an article, and this was like early 2000s. So um, that was how went through the process, forwarded my CV. He's never seen me. He doesn't know me. He just said, "Forward me your CV." I went through all the interview process, first step, second step, third, with all the different levels of, due diligence. And after that, they gave me an offer letter, and that was Dubai. Then I moved to Dubai. So, and then Dubai happened. So the bulk of my career was in Dubai, and the bulk of my career growth was with this multinational company, Starwood Hotels. So I grew. I think I jumped like 3 times in my career progression within that company. And I moved from a hotel and I moved to the corporate office. So what I was doing, luckily for me, another thing, and I need to put it here, is when you are still in your early 20s and you just graduated out of college, it's very important you find the company that really wants to invest in you, that values you. And it's also very important that you work with a very good manager, because what happens is your managers really want somebody who can help them do the job, because literally you're the one doing the job, but it's your managers that go and do all the fighting with the big boys. So you do your job well, and when a manager gets promoted, he will carry you with him, because you're the one helping him do the job that he's going to pitch. So that was something I learned early in my career as well, that you know, just do a good job, let your boss be happy with you. I'm not saying you should go and be kissing ass or doing something, just do a good job and be happy with your manager. So, and that was what helped me, grow through my career. Like, I had a good relationship with my managers, and I moved into the corporate office. And later, when I was even in the corporate office and I moved again, I started sort of getting more interested in the marketing side of things, because I really understood the technical side. So I decided to do a master's in marketing while I was still working. So I was working and I was doing my master's at the same time. So like I said, it's never rosy. It's not like I was enjoying flingering life. No, there was a price to pay. Like, I remember when I did my marketing and my masters, I literally did not have a social life. It's just work, come home, lots of research and lots of journals, and type, and then go to bed. But that sort of helped me for the next stage of my career, where I got promoted to director level position. And at that time, my company was looking for somebody to move to Nigeria to head the hotels in Nigeria. And I thought, look, this was a good opportunity. And I hadn't moved to Nigeria. I hadn't gone back to Nigeria after I left. So I said, look, this is a good opportunity to go back home. At least the way I looked at it was go back home, take a promotion jump, um, have a solid proof of point that I have an African experience on my resume. Because yes, I might be Nigerian, but what if I've not lived there in a long time? How do you validate that I have a market knowledge of what is happening there? So for me, that was also important because I looked at it from a career standpoint. So I moved to Nigeria and I was heading all the hotels, all the Starwood hotels in Nigeria. And I did the I think I did that. I worked within that role for 2 years, and then I decided that look, I wanted to go back to Dubai. So luckily for me, I got transferred back to Dubai, and then later in 2018, there was a merger and acquisition that happened with my company and another company, and that led to redundancy of jobs. So I think in 2018 they made my job redundant, and I had to. They even actually asked me if I wanted something else, but at that time, I didn't want the position they offered me, so I offered to leave. And for me, I didn't even know what was next. But I think me and my spouse sort of agreed at that point that was the end of the Dubai journey for us. So I started looking for another opportunity, and we're like, okay, we don't know where we're going to move to. Maybe we'll go back to Nigeria, or maybe move to the UK or whatever, or somewhere. But then I just started applying for jobs like Hong Kong, Shanghai, all these big cities. Like, so the first thing that comes to my mind is big city names: New York, London, Hong Kong, Shanghai, Singapore, Dubai, like big city names where they're business hubs. So, like for example, you have a country like France now, but it doesn't make sense for you to go and apply in one small town in France. You know that in Paris there might be a headquarter of some company. So that was what I really focused on. Like, okay, if I want to move to Hong Kong, what companies have their headquarters in Hong Kong? And then what I do is I go to the career website of the company and I look for careers, I look for the position that I'm interested in, and then I apply. So that was what I used to do, just apply. And my current job now in the Netherlands, that was the same thing I did. I saw the job on LinkedIn, and I just applied and went through all the process, and I got the job. But again, the thing is, I think the great thing about my experience is a lot of the jobs I've had in my throughout my career, a lot of them was all found on the internet without them seeing me. But I had to prove myself first with my resume, second through the interviews, proving that I know what I'm talking about, and then thirdly, after hiring me, proving that you did not make a mistake on me. I am capable of doing this job. So that is what has brought me thus far.
Wow. Things I took away where, you were, at the point when you decide, look, it's game on. I want to start applying. You're always on the alert. You are
Yeah.
applying, you're paying attention to your environment, reading articles, thinking, okay, let me, send a message to this guy. Maybe, he can hook me up. I mean, just being alert, being open.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I also like the fact that you don't limit yourself. This is very
Yes,
important. You
that's
don't
true.
just have to say, okay, let me just, be humble and go small. The fact that you go all out, you go big, or let's go big, or let's go home.
You just apply, and if they say no, carry on, move on. It's not like you know me. It's not even like I know the person reading the CV. I probably will never meet that person in my life. So it's not doing anything to me. So that's why I never feel ashamed to apply virtually for something or even talk to somebody virtually, because you might never, ever, ever meet that person in your life. But we're just taking the chance that you made an effort to talk to the person or email the person or apply for that job. That's the best you can do.
Fantastic. So, I mean, you sort of touched on my next question because it's about the general perception that the job market is competitive, is tough. I mean, even on a national scale, I know that it can be tough. So, internationally, I know that it can really, really be competitive, and but you've sort of started to tell us, the formula. I know that you seem to have a hang on the formula on this, job application and moving across countries, and you started talking about it that all you do is apply for jobs. I mean, you build your competencies, and then you just keep applying and applying and applying. So, is there anything you want to add to that, or
No,
that's
I think the key thing is build your competencies and your skills and apply for the job that you're capable of doing. If your gut feeling says apply for it, then apply for it. Because sometimes you'll find out that some positions will say 12 years experience, but at the end of the day, maybe the person they hired maybe only has 3 or 4 years experience. So if your gut feeling says, when you see a position, if your gut feeling tells you to do it, do it. But the question is, how do you know what your gut feeling tells you to do and when it's just self deceiving yourself? I don't know. I don't have the formula to that. But I think key factors is be honest with yourself, be realistic with yourself, and know what you're capable of doing and your level, and then go for gold.
oh, that's it. Thank you. So, I wanted to know. I mean, you've worked across several, countries, across, different industry, marketing, tech. Do you ever feel the imposter syndrome effect? Like, at some point, do you ever feel like, wow, am I really good enough? I mean, after everything, we still boils down to, okay, I'm a Nigerian and I'm gunning for, this global career. Do I feel worthy? Do you ever at some point feel like this?
No, funny enough, not really. I've never felt like that. The only time I actually only felt like that was just recently in my career, and that was because I changed industries. So I moved from being a digital marketing professional in hospitality, and I moved into like more digital product tech in a travel tech space. So I think one of the reasons why I felt the imposter syndrome was because when I moved to the tech company, things are very different. The style of leadership is very different. Like it's not like your traditional multinational company. Like they treat you like you are a god. I'm not even joking. Like they give you food, like you get a cup of coffee for $1 or €1. You get like everything,
Hmm.
everything. Like, but this is why all these tech companies like Google, Facebook, all these tech companies are doing well because they hire very smart people to come and do all the crazy development work, but they also give them everything they want to make them happy. So I used to think, oh God, I'm working with all these smart nerds. Like I don't know anything. But obviously, it was my first foray into the tech field. But what I did to counter that was put a lot more effort on myself to learn how the way of life and the culture of tech industries are. What are the things? How does the culture work here? How do people work with each other? How just catch up, brush up on the culture basically in that company in the company. And I always believe that once you're armed with enough knowledge, then knowledge is power. So because I put it on myself when I felt that imposter syndrome, to learn more, I made so much effort to learn more, speak to more people, ask more questions, learn more, because when you get to a point where you're confident enough to stand for yourself, then all that imposter syndrome disappears. So I don't think it was anything bad. I think it was only just natural because it was an industry that I've never worked in, and it was new for me. So I felt threatened, but then I turned it into a good thing by using that advantage to learn more about the skill. So and now I've worked for almost 2 years in that company, and I I think I stopped feeling like that long time ago. But that was because I felt more comfortable in my knowledge and skills in this new field.
Lovely, lovely. I believe so much in support. So I wanted to know what sort of support do you have along the way that you feel contributed to your success?
Well, obviously, the most important thing was my spouse. He was extremely
Of course.
supportive. Yeah, because I mean, it's not like I wanted to move to Dubai or China, and I wasn't even dating him when I moved to China. But all through my career and the different countries I've moved to, um, before I applied for a position, if I let's say I'm on the internet and I see something and I see a position, I'll say, "Hey, do you want to go to Thailand or do you want to move to Beijing? I've seen a good position that I think I can do." And if he says, yeah, just apply. So what I do is typically I give him a heads up that this is what's happening. If he says apply, because the thing is we apply, and then when they take me, then we will deal with the next step. But the reality is, at least we both agree on the destination, or the focus of what we want to do, and we've sort of prepared our mind for it if it happens. So it's not like saying I see a job in Iraq and I'll be like, oh, do you want to go to Iraq? Of course, if we both know we don't want to move to Iraq, so what's the point of applying? So definitely my spouse has been very supportive. I'll say my parents and my family. I would also say, just close friends and family. Like sometimes when you're down, because I'm not saying that it has always been perfect. You also have people there that sometimes you're confused, or you can even be depressed, where you have your heydays where maybe a company doesn't respond to you. Reach out to people that really love you, that support you. Talk to them, and they can always make you feel better about yourself. So I would say close friends and family as well.
Right. So we are almost at the end. So I like to know, is there anything you want to add, like a closing message to people listening?
I think one key thing I always want to say is don't hold back, and give it your best shot. You know, you only live once, but I'm not saying you only live once to party. You only live once. The only thing you can do is just apply for that job. If you see that position, apply for that job. But one thing as well, it also depends. Like you need to also know the kind of person you are. Are you a 9 to 5 corporate person, or are you an entrepreneur? Do you have that entrepreneurial drive where you want to run your own business? First, you need to figure that out. But obviously, not everybody figures that out early in their career. So if you don't know what you want to do, then put in your best when you start your career. And then when you get to that point, then you can decide, do you want to do 9 to 5, or do you want to, start up your own business? But again, put in your best bets. Look for multinational companies. Right now, a lot of companies, even multinational companies abroad in Nigeria, they are looking for diversity now. So this is a good time for you to even apply, because sometimes they might even just give you that job simply because you're Nigerian or you're from the continent, and you just be like, how? But obviously, from a spiritual angle, we'll say that was just God. But obviously, God also used the company to say, look, pick this person because they are from Nigeria, because they're Black, because it also helps them from their diversity and inclusion goals. They want to show people that, look, we have different people from different nationalities who work with us. We have different people of color who work with us. So, you know what? This is a good time to take advantage of all this diversity and inclusion goals that a lot of companies are buying into these days. Yeah.
Amazing, amazing. Practically, I mean, for myself, I am enlightened and I am inspired. Thank you so much, Lola, for sharing, all this with us.
All right. Thanks, Oinda.
Bye.
Take care. Bye bye.
Thank you so much for sticking till the end. I appreciate the time you have decided to spend with me. Kindly share this podcast with your friends, and if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, please take a minute to drop a review. I would personally love to hear from you. Feel free to send me an email or DM with your comments, suggestions, and feedback. Till next time, never stop believing and pursuing your dreams. You will realize it takes you to take a bet on you.